Hello, everyone. Happy New Year.
Hello, hello.
Welcome. I'm Stacy, the Hot Mess Homeschooler, and today I have on one of my besties, Liz Montigny of Liz Montigny Coaching, and we're going to be talking about Word of the Year. Liz?
Hey, hi everyone. Happy New Year. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for asking me to pop on, Stacy. I appreciate that. A little bit about me. Yes, I am a personal coach. I help women bridge the gap between their hopes and a holistic legacy. And I love kicking off the new year with you with this. So let's get to it.
Yes, this is fun. We used to come live together regularly, and it's been a hot second since that's happened. So I'm glad we can connect since we are, well, a whole coast apart, really, I guess.
I know. That's true.
All right. So the word of the year, if you guys haven't heard of that concept, is basically taking one word to align yourself and your choices with for the whole entire year, instead of having a whole list of resolutions or things you want to accomplish or goals, which there's nothing wrong with that. But instead of like maybe you have a list that's this long, and then you maybe fall short and you feel, this one word concept, it helps guide and direct everything that you do throughout the year, so you can kind of regroup and fall back into line. So Liz, do you want to talk about how someone may even choose a word of the year?
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of those people who does have a list of goals, and I do go through that process. But the reason why I like the word of the year is because, especially for those of us who do set those quote unquote resolutions and feel like they've fallen off the bandwagon by February, and they're just, down on themselves for that reason. I think this simplifies the whole process of what you want to be, do, and have in life. Okay. And so for me, and you might do it a little differently, Stacy, but I know a couple of years ago we found that word of the year generator tool. There's a couple out there. The one that I like is the one from Christine Kane, and you can download it if you just Google it. But basically, she suggests you take some time to sit and think about how you want to show up, whether, like you were saying, Stacy, with, in alignment with your life, in what you want to accomplish for the year, or maybe there's like a little growth piece that you want to push yourself a little bit to. And just think about what some of those words are for you and write them all down, and then write what those words mean for you. And then you just keep narrowing it down. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes you got to think about it for a while. Stacy, you might do it a little differently, so I'm curious what you do.
Well, in years past, I have chosen my word just based on maybe what I thought I wanted for myself, or a goal that I was trying to achieve, like a overarching over all the aspects of my life and all the areas. I know a couple of years ago I found a random generator that Jennifer Fulwiler actually created, and you can go in and, if you're a person of faith, you can pray, that God would give you the word that you are meant to have. Or you can just hit the button and see what comes up.
Yep.
And that's a fun one if if you're not sure, like maybe you're not ready to commit to a whole word of the year, but maybe you need like a word for the week, or what, maybe for the month, or a specific period of time. This year, when I started to think about this in November and December, I had read a devotional which talked about, like, instead of us adopting a word, it would be, praying over that word, and seeing like where the Spirit leads you, and like what does God want for your life. And that's the approach I took this year. Is I just prayed. I had some words kind of floating around. I'm a words of affirmation love language person anyways, so
Yes.
I love words, and so there was always something. I prayed very hard because I always tell God he needs to hit me over the head with a 2x4 to be sure that I know.
Totally relate. Yeah.
So when I heard the word, or I thought I heard the word, I even doubled down on that prayer, and I was like, okay, I need confirmation that this is indeed the word you are speaking for my life in 2021. And I definitely got it, and had like a pretty, in my opinion, for myself, profound spiritual experience where I kind of felt like God was really speaking to me over what the word meant for me. So that was a big blessing. But that's how I found mine this year, versus just kind of saying like, oh, I like this one.
Right. You have some meat behind it. Yeah. That's great.
And I think there's really no wrong way. I think if you're just starting, then it may be fun to just see what comes up in the random generator, or, doing like the more, written exercise journaling type thing to see what's coming through. Do you want to share your word that you have for 2021?
I know I'm going to backtrack for a second to 2020, like we need to, yes. But I know, but my word last year was one, and that really didn't click for me until the last few months of the year, but it finally clicked. My purpose at that time with picking that word was to help me laser focus on what I want. And I finally got there. It just took most of the year.
So, well, sometimes it's a process, right? Like we don't always get it. So I would say that's still a victory that it all came into alignment right toward the end.
Exactly.
And let's face it, 2020 be crazy, right? Like
yes. So onward and upward, as they say. So 2021, I really wanted a verb. So that's kind of the only kind of going into it. That's what I told myself. I'm like, it has to be action oriented.
I love that, by the way.
That's awesome. Yes. So I needed that big time. So what kept coming up for me, both in some spiritual reading I was doing, in some personal development reading I was doing, in some training, in some talking with clients, I mean, all of it kind of came together that I wanted to choose the word cultivate. And I love that word for a lot of reasons. When you look it up in the dictionary, it has like a list of definitions, but some of the synonyms are prepare, promote, produce, develop, growth, seek. And I mean, in terms of both personally and professionally, those are really powerful words for me. And it's something that I'm going to be focusing on for sure in the new year. I want to be bolder and just take, like you said, take that time to grow, even though, it took me a whole year last year to get to where I wanted to be. It still happened. So, and to give myself a little bit grace and patience on that front. So cultivate is my word for 2021. How about you?
I love that. And I think, especially for your coaching business, right? Like you're not only using that for yourself, that's a word you can use to cultivate your client.
Exactly.
Which that's beautiful. The word I heard very clearly and very frequently was free. So it's very funny because I work with a business coach who I absolutely love, who her word for the year was monetize. So when I kept hearing the word free, it made me laugh like, okay.
Which one?
Right. So, but that's not the way God intended it for me. And so for like in every aspect of my life, I just felt like it had profound meaning. So free, like God wants us to live free in him, right? And he gives us that abundance and he will prosper us, but it's all through him. And free of detachments to the world, free of outcomes. So like free to show up as how he's calling me, which in this new way that I'm, doing, and it's kind of out of my comfort zone. But I can be free to do that because he's calling me, and I can be free from not the results, but like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to attach any value as long as I'm following his path for me.
Exactly.
Free of like worldly attachments and being bonded in, you know, not only sin, but things and behaviors that maybe are not promoting my greater health and not promoting the things that, you know, I need to do. So it was just really like profound. And, you know, I really, the day that I told you I spent in adoration, had a like little epiphany. And then, so this was more confirmation, is at Mass this past weekend, our priest preached a beautiful homily on the Magi being like a lesson in detachment and how they left everything that they had, brought gifts, and, you know, offered it all to him and to Christ. And then, you know, it was, so instead of detachment, I heard free, right? And so we are, you know, and he specifically said, do we want the gifts or the giver? And everything we have is from God, and we need to recognize that. But if we're holding so tight to it, and we're like in our hearts or in our hands, we can't be open to receiving, you know, either more gifts or really the giver himself. And so that just really spoke to me. And then I had further confirmation when I had friends invite me to do a program. It's a 90-day program, which focuses on fasting, prayer, and abstinence from things that distract you from your life. And anyway, it was just one of those that I was like, oh my goodness, okay, God is so good. He's showing me literally how he wants me to live this word free in 2021. So it was pretty amazing. And I'm so thankful that I had that experience.
Yeah, you got the 2x4. Love it.
Sure did. Yes. God was like, here's another one too, just to be sure you got it.
I love it. That's so awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, no, it was really wonderful. So I look forward to seeing, you know, where this year takes me, both, you know, physically and professionally, spiritually, with my family. You know, I think that so many of my goals revolve around freedom, you know, and it's just kind of thinking about it in different terms as well. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Exciting. So Liz, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you if they're interested in your services, and maybe a little bit about what you do?
Oh yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so LizMontignyCoaching.com is where you can find me, and I'm on the Instagram and Facebook and all that as well. And what's really cool is on my website, I have a downloads page, and there is something called the Wheel of Life Assessment. So if you're one of these women who is constantly chasing that quote unquote balance, or you are just, you know, feeling run down or stuck and you're trying to get to the next level, but need a little extra push or help, that's what I'm here for. And I encourage you to go check out that download, that Wheel of Life Assessment, take it, send me a screenshot of it. And I would love to be able to help you take the next right step for you. It's a great tool, and it's a great visual to help you see what you need to focus on in your world. So thanks.
Well, and that might be really helpful if somebody does decide to adopt the word of the year for themselves, that they can take that and, you know, do your assessment, and you can work with them to show, you know, how they can use that word, you know.
I love that.
Especially if they're having trouble, you know. That would be great, because sometimes, I mean, you know, we've been friends long enough, you know, I'm like, I get very tangled up in my brain. I have lots of things. And so I always joke that I'm making Liz a better coach because she's friends with me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anyway, and you guys know you can always find me at hotmesshomeschooler.com. I look forward to chatting with you guys again soon. And Liz, hopefully we can have you on again because I enjoyed this. This was just like, man, flashback of old times. We'll have to.
I know, this is great. Thank you so much.
Yes, I appreciate you being on. And again, everyone, we'll talk to you soon. And until then, be alive and well. Bye-bye.
Bye.